Hello, today I am going to be doing a very quick video about the recent Fiverr, allegedly Fiverr lawyers who have been hopping on the cease and desist train for content creators. The first I heard of it was on the Do We Know Them podcast. Allegedly, there is a freelance lawyer who wrote a cease and desist letter for somebody. I can't remember who they were talking about. But then I also stumbled upon a Lordy It's Jordy talking about the cease and desist or notice letter that he received. And from what was described, sounds like might have been one of these Fiverr lawyers, allegedly, in my opinion. If you don't know who I am, which you likely do not, I am a practicing immigration attorney in the United States, licensed by my state bar association, which is what needs to happen in order for me to practice law or appear in front of a judge or file things on client behalf. Difference between a lawyer and an attorney. A lawyer usually has a legal degree and can provide legal advice. An attorney is licensed before a bar association or a court and is then allowed to practice before that court, meaning represent clients in front of a judge, basically. That's a very basic difference there. There are also people who call themselves legal consultants. No idea what that means. There's no regulation or there's no license associated there or educational requirement that I'm aware of. There are paralegals. Those are the people who do the work, like filling out forms, drafting documents, under the supervision of an attorney or a lawyer who then reviews their work and confirms it's correct. And then there are legal assistants. There are a myriad of other people who can be working under an attorney, but they have to be working under somebody who is licensed in order to provide these services. Also, it's very, very clear, at least in the United States, who can give legal advice and who cannot give legal advice. That is because legal advice, if followed, has consequences. And if the legal advice that is given is so outrageous and not at all correct that it causes harm to the person following the advice, the person who gave that legal advice can be held responsible. We have a license. That license can be taken away from us if we do not follow the ethical obligations or if we are not seen fit to practice. Okay? So, very short background, and this is only the United States. There are lawyers all over the country. There are lawyers who are licensed to practice in the United States, but they choose to live outside of the country and can work remotely. They can still do a lot of things. There are laws and rules as to what can and can't be done, etc. And that goes for other countries as well. All countries have laws. Therefore, all countries have lawyers and people who help others who are in need of understanding the law, etc. And the requirements in each country are different. And I am not an expert in that, so can't talk on that. But usually the bare minimum is that in order to be a lawyer, you have to have a certain level of education and certain experience in order to, quote unquote, practice law. In my mind, practicing law is giving legal advice. So I don't believe that legal advice should be as gate kept as it is, meaning the amount that is charged for legal advice is ginormous, but that's not the point for today. The point today is, who are these people on Fiverr giving out legal advice or writing Fiverr or writing cease and desist letters? Are they actually licensed? Because I don't know. How do I check that? And what are they charging? Because Fiverr as the name implies, means cheap in my head. Find freelance services. In my previous experience, I've used or have seen Fiverr used for things like logo design here, or like more creative fields that are typically seen as freelance type of work. And something I don't expect to find on here is legal advice. But let me just show you that this is something you can actually get here. Cease and desist letters, okay? Now, there are 107 results for this. Can't believe there are that many, but everywhere from $25, $20, $30, $20, like $10. I understand cease and desist letters are pretty form letters, meaning there's not a lot of editing that has to go into it, but to be a good cease and desist letter, it has to have facts. You have to understand the law in that area. You have to understand the background of why somebody needs to cease and desist. $10? Are you going to get enough information to make this possible? Probably not. Like, my per hour charge, granted, I don't deal with cease and desist letters, my per hour charge as a associate attorney is much higher than this. So who is willing to provide this service for so cheap? Now, I don't mean to be discriminatory, and it is going to sound discriminatory, but from taking a look at some of these, um, what are these, advertisements, I have yet to find somebody who's located in the United States. I know that with the United States, each state has a bar. I can call up each bar and confirm that the person advertising their attorney services is actually licensed and is not, hasn't lost their license or hasn't been disbarred for any reason. Other countries, it would take some digging to see how I can do this. And again, there are people calling themselves attorneys, which means you have to be eligible to practice before a court, in my understanding. And then we have these where it's literally the same thing. Hello, Daisy F. Professionally, legally persuasive basic letter. I cannot understand why people would go through this. Okay, let me back it up. I understand why. Because, like I said earlier, my hourly rate is nowhere near as low as this is. Somebody who is wanting to file a cease and desist letter, who doesn't consider it to be the actual strength that it's supposed to have, who doesn't understand consequences of a lawsuit, of course they're going to cheap out because they're like, well, I just need something threatening to send out. Little do they know that they themselves can send something. You don't have to be a lawyer to send out a notice that I'm going to sue you in court. The thing that needs a lawyer is actually filing that lawsuit in court, or an attorney, I should say, because that person should be eligible to practice before the court. And so my belief is that people who are not serious about it are probably going to these cease and desist Fiverr accounts, paying somebody who they think is actually potentially a lawyer. Let's see here, $30 to send out this letter, and thinking, yep, okay, I'm good to go. Fiverr is a marketplace, I understand that. So you can provide whatever services you want on Fiverr, and people have the right to choose there. But Fiverr, let's see here, I don't see anything that requires them or that shows that these people are licensed or have the correct background to do this type of work. A different marketplace that I'm aware of that does actually confirm people's eligibility to do the work that they provide on this marketplace is clerks or law clerk.legal. Here you can hire an associate attorney by the hour. You can hire a contract lawyer to do something for you. You can get somebody who is licensed to work on a contract drafting job for you. And they are licensed, they are vetted. This company actually makes sure that you're getting somebody who is going to put the actual effort and understand the consequences of this cease and desist letter or this DMCA takedown notice. So I just can't believe this is actually happening. I would love to do a deep dive into this, but I just don't have the time right now. So this was just a quick video about Fiverr lawyers, and wow, this is going to be some crappy